All right. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. So I kind of hate to do this. There have been some new developments in the subject, though, and I got Mario coming in with us.
Ahoy.
Guy, how you doing?
I'm all right. A little tired, but I'm okay.
So yesterday we talked about the attack in Boulder with the apparently Hamas terrorist. I'm assuming basically homeboy went and set a bunch of Jews on fire
with the Windex bottle flamethrower. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's been planning. He's been planning.
Severe.
He's been planning it for over a year, and what he was able to come up with was Windex bottles filled with a mild accelerant. It's impressive. It's impressive.
One of the things I've talked about many times before, vis-a-vis gun control and the conversation on mass shootings and the like. These mass casualty, son. A mass casualty attack is one of the easiest things in the world, and we should be deeply grateful that what we see for mass casualty events in the U.S. tend to be one guy shoots a handful of people.
Yeah,
because you don't understand how bad it can actually be.
No, you don't. I can kill someone with basically anything around me that I pick up and use as a weapon. Anything is a potential weapon. Okay. In fact, I've been playing a mental exercise. Okay. Since I was like 12 years old. Okay. Think of it similar to like the game, and yes, you all lost, by the way. But at any given point, multiple times during the day, I'll look around me and be like, okay, what do I got right now? Okay, it's happening right now. Look around. What can I use on the spot as a weapon? Okay,
right.
Because that's what I'm going to do every single time. That anytime you attack me, I'm not going to fight you fair. I'm going to grab a weapon. Hopefully there's like a blunt object nearby, and I'm going to cave in your fucking skull. Okay.
Yeah. That's what's going to happen. The only fair fight ever should be for sport, right? You're getting in the ring, and you have agreed to gentlemen's terms to engage in the sport to test your honest capability. But when you start talking about a legitimate conflict, combat, if you're not cheating, you're not trying. And Mario, what you're talking about, I mean, it's wargaming. It's something that men do. And especially men who have been trained for combat. You walk into a restaurant and hey, one for lunch. Oh, yes, sir. Follow me. Here's your table. No, unacceptable. I want that table. I want my back to the wall, and I want to be able to see the door. Right. And absolutely, you start looking around, and
that's my brother.
you start asking yourself questions like, do I have a large, heavy sugar shaker on my table? Mm-hmm. Okay, I can work with that. I can throw that. I can swing that. What kind of light fixtures are above my head that I can grab for environmental combat?
Yep.
Things like that. I mean, I've gone so far. In a Waffle House one night, there was this guy that was beating on his girlfriend, and I think Patrick, you were there with me this night, and we hollered him, hey, leave her alone, buddy. Don't touch her. And he bowed up like he wanted to get in a fight, and I threw the jukebox at him. Reached out and slid it across the floor at him, and and the wall made a sandwich of his nuts, and that was the end of the fight.
That's
he laid there on the ground crying about how some asshole hit him with a jukebox until the cops showed up and took him away. It was a good night.
My brother is even more security minded than me, like just instinctively. Like if you try to give him the table where basically he's sitting at the front of the restaurant with his back to the front door, he not just won't take the table, he's offended. You're trying to kill me. You're trying to get me killed.
Oh, okay, Patrick's right. It wasn't the jukebox. It was the cigarette machine. Give you an idea how long ago this was.
That's right, kids. We used
That's
to be a
right.
real, we
It
used to be
was
a
the
real
cigarette
country.
machine. I don't think they ever replaced that one either. I think they just gave up. But homeboy had it coming.
Yep.
But yeah, that's and I hadn't actually intended to get into this piece of the topic this morning, but that is something that men do. And if you haven't done that with your buddies, just man, what would you do? What would you do? I mean, like I said, Waffle House is the American gladiatorial arena. It's a great place to spend some time as a young man, or at least it was when I was in high school, right? I mean, we had a cat come in with a little 38 special one time, tried to rob the place, and the cook, this guy's big, almost as big as I am, and he's back. This guy had the blonde goatee and the shape, the sides of his head shaved. I mean, he looked like the meme of the modern Viking, right? Back there making scrambled eggs in one of the little tiny cast iron skillets that they use at a Waffle House. Homeboy comes in with a 38 special. He turned around and threw the skillet at him. Hit him in the face with the skillet. Homeboy drops his gun and runs, tries to run away. The cook jumps over the counter, grabs one of those heavy-duty wooden high chairs, and chases the guy, we'll call him the perp, out into the parking lot and wings that high chair across the parking lot at him. Yes, Patrick, I'm talking about Leviathan, Levi.
Yeah, those are. Yeah, I like guys like that are great, and you do find them at Waffle House, at Denny's. You know what I mean? As the short order cook, you see them they'll be wearing like some type of sleeve or like a long sleeve T-shirt that's like barely disguising all the AB and 1% tattoos on their arms.
Yeah.
He's not the one. Guys. He's not the one you wanted. He's not the one you wanted.
The giant, heavily tattooed white guy running the griddle at the Waffle House. You tuck that pistol back in your pants and you go on down the street because you're about to die or go to jail.
you just entered Asgard, okay? And you're and they don't take kindly to your monkey shines, okay?
No,
not at all.
No, none of that.
But yeah,
so
Waffle House, Chick-fil-A, and Coca-Cola are quintessentially Georgia.
Yes, yeah, and if you find yourself getting off the freeway and there's not a Waffle House at the exit, get back on.
Yeah. Is that a bad sign? Is that
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Waffle House is so reliable that FEMA judges the severity of hurricanes on whether or not the Waffle House remains open.
It's an organic metric. I like that.
That's an absolutely absolutely an official policy. They check whether or not the Waffle House is closed. So, anyway, we're getting back into immigration question stuff because after everything I talked about yesterday, and for those of you who were watching yesterday, we had some technical issues. I lost some of the clips that I had pulled up. I have those this morning. And we're going to talk to those as they relate to the broader context related to this story. But I want you guys to hear this because holy shit.
It's cringe. What cringe alert. It's a little ugly, okay?
These people are psychopaths.
Yes, they are.
The Battle of Minneapolis. Local leftists clash with ICE agents in the streets during raid. This is from townhall.com. How many times do we need to say this? If you're here illegally and get caught, you're going back. It's the law. Okay, what process are you due? Well, if you cross the border illegally, the process you are due is to go back. And I mean, what a bunch of sweethearts are we? We're not executing them. We're not locking them up forever. It's, oh, you don't belong here. Let me put you back where you belong.
Exactly. We are Santa Claus of the North, and we are abused for our altruism on a daily basis.
Yeah. So liberals don't care about that. They're mad because they see their political base, which they've imported here for the better part of a generation, getting shipped out. A federal raid at a local restaurant in Minneapolis turned into a street fight between police and local leftists. So let me see if I've got the I believe I've still got the yeah. So
now people are trying to create a line out here to stop ICE and FBI.
It's your city.
Did you catch that?
Yeah.
No, did you catch what the cop said? What the ICE agent said, Mario?
No.
I love this. I absolutely love
it. People are trying to create a line out here to stop ICE and FBI.
It's your city.
It's your city.
I ain't
dumbass.
I'm not cleaning up shit.
Well, and like that, wasn't that just indicative or, reminiscent of all the George Floyd riots? Yeah, we're rioting for George Floyd. And, so, your Black Lives Matter. You went into black neighborhoods and burned down black businesses to protest black people? Right?
Yeah.
It's your city you're burning down, you dumb shits.
So get the fuck out! Fuck you! No, fuck you! Fuck you!
Move on right now! Back up right now!
So these people are putting up a pretty strong wall here. They're letting people, the police are obviously retaliating. People are pushing back at the police, showing no respect towards the police. People are upset because the ICE did come through here and they did take some illegal immigrants out of here, of the city.
See, they're throwing trash cans at the police vehicles and at the police officers. I paused here for so many reasons, not least of which is I wanted to make a couple of comments, which I've just made. And then, Mario, you're going to love this.
This is how the sheriff works.
I mean, that one's worth the replay.
This is how the sheriff works.
You know what I'm noticing that bothers me here, Mario?
What's that?
The cops are fighting through the crowd, right? Where are the arrests?
We're not there yet. We're sadly not there yet. Okay.
Because this is going on all over the country. After January 6th, they went and raided homes, kicked in the doors, 1,600 people. Guys, do you realize that around 15% of the people who were arrested over January 6th were not even in Washington, D.C. on that day?
Not surprised.
They weren't even in D.C. for the event. But the FBI, having dedicated more than a third, I think it was almost half, of their agents to that one event, raided homes, arrested people for having posted on social media sentiments of support for the events of January 6th. And then those people were held without due process, they were held without arraignment for months and some of them years.
Apparently, they've even created a specialized code for J6 related crimes. All right, that within the FBI, if you did not know like that 2-letter code, whatever, to query those files, you wouldn't know that they existed. So that was recently uncovered as well.
Yeah,
they wasted years of federal resources. All right, to track down people who had an unscheduled field trip at the Capitol, and people who weren't even there apparently.
Yeah, many of whom were not even there. And so, you look at this.
Push him through.
Sheriff's deputies, ICE agents, and the like, and they're there arresting people. Now, let's go back to the article, because it gets even better. It all began at Las Cuatro Milpas, where a search warrant was executed for numerous crimes, including drug running and human trafficking. Now, including drug running and human trafficking. So it's important to understand that when we're talking, like I talked about yesterday, when we were discussing what's his face, the Windex flamethrower guy. He presents an interesting quandary, of course, because he came here legally on a visa and then overstayed the visa, which expired. Mm-hmm. Now, the people we're talking about being arrested in this incident, these are people who crossed the border illegally. And in a wide number of cases, when the initial crime is the illegal border crossing, the war crime of invading a sovereign territory without authorization, despite there being a very clearly advertised port of entry and process available for entry, which is a separate point, but is germane to the discussion, because we're talking about people who intentionally evade the clearly established process of entering the country. In many of these cases, in fact, nearly most of these cases, there is something related to drug trafficking or human trafficking. And when we say human trafficking, we are talking about the worst crimes imaginable. I can tell you exactly how it works. Worse than you probably imagine generally. But even if you're talking about somebody who's not like actively a member of a cartel or a drug gang, etc., many of them, they get their pass to come across the border by, look, we'll let you go. We won't murder you here on the north edge of Mexico before you try to cross the border illegally, if you'll put this balloon full of heroin up your ass, if you'll tote this backpack full of cocaine with you, if you'll call this number when you get to the other side and meet with our guy, for totally not getting you trafficked into sex slavery. The criminal aliens coming across the southern border, the majority of them are either directly working for or with one of the cartels, or are already or about to become victims of those crime syndicates.
Yeah. So one of the things it's slavery. Okay, it's modern day slavery. All right, and one of the places where they'll temporarily stash these migrants. All right, now these migrants are slaves of the cartels. All right, so they'll temporarily stash them in restaurants. All right, particularly the Hispanic restaurants, where they basically work, where they're free labor. All right, help out that business, which is probably on the take as well from the cartel, or even arrived in the country on behalf of the cartel back before they founded that restaurant. But yeah, it's a place to stash them until the cartel figures out what they want to do with them. So before they find that meat packing plant job, at Claxton Food, and Claxton is completely complicit in slave labor as well. But Aaron Olson asks, is this being funded by leftover U.S. aid money? No. This is Minneapolis. Okay, this is how it is. All right. It's feral blacks who who burn down their own neighborhoods, all right, and utterly contaminated white people who are effectively a cancer on society. All right, it is about as low as it gets as far as American cities go.
I just got distracted. Patrick just reminded me it's Killdozer Day, and I completely forgot. We need to do a deep dive on Killdozer Day.
Nah, Killdozer's like a 30-minute special. It's basically guy gets screwed over by local ordinances. Okay, to the point where he decides I'm basically done.
It's certainly not the Waco deep dive, which you guys need to go check out.
So, speaking of done, these white leftists that you're seeing, okay, in the streets that are freaking out over ICE, basically just performing their basic function. They are. You mentioned it last week. You mentioned Yuri Bezmenov, right? These are exactly what Yuri Bezmenov talked about when he says the contaminated people. All right. There's no coming back. You can't fix these people. You can't convince them through reason and logic that the error in their ways. They are emotionally grounded to this type of behavior. They cannot change. Like they are. You want to talk about like a great filter or whatever? We have to find a way past people like this for society to advance to the next level. All right. They're the great filter, and there's going to be a selection event in the future. All right. Like I'm pretty white nationalist myself. Okay. Like I support white people, white causes. All right. But there's like half of us are going to have to go. They're not going to make it. Okay. People like this in Minneapolis, they're the chaff that's just got to get separated.
Well, as soon as the lights go out, they're going to freeze and starve when left to their own devices. They're not competent or capable of engaging with the world.
The fear is that
by electricity.
The fear is that there won't be a collapse, though. That it'll limp along and limp along and limp along until basically the.
Well, and you're talking about guys like this, right? Rep. Dan Goldman.
So apparently it is not okay to wear a mask if you're protesting the government, but it is okay if you are the government. I was a federal prosecutor for 10 years right there. I worked with the Department of Homeland Security. I worked with ICE agents. I worked with Homeland Security's investigations. I have never seen.
So to be clear, his position is that it's not okay for the law enforcement to hide their face, but it is okay for the protesters to hide their faces.
Yes.
I mean, let's play Uno reverse here, Shitburger.
Any plainclothes officer wearing a mask. And I asked them, why are you wearing a mask? One person told me, because it's cold. I asked him if he would testify to that under oath, and he walked away and wouldn't respond to me. Another person admitted that they're wearing masks so that they are not caught on video. And my question to them is, if what you are doing is legitimate, is lawful, is totally above board, why do you need to cover your face?
Why do they need to cover their face? We covered this a few months ago. Because leftists will dox and swat you.
Yep.
That's
look, I'm not opposed to the wearing the mask. Okay, like and that's Antifa's standard procedure, and it works. It works. Protect your identity. I mean, if those J6ers had been wearing masks and hiding their identities on the day of the protest, a lot of them probably wouldn't be in jail. A lot of them probably never would have had to go through it if they had just disguised themselves. It's a tactic. Use it. And yeah, these people are fanatical animals. I don't think you understand like how many idle hands there are on the opposite side of the ideological aisle. Okay, these people are not employed. Most of these people are collecting some form of bullshit disability. All right,
and this is why you don't see conservative activism.
Because conservatives have jobs. Okay, these people don't have traditional jobs. All right, they are collecting money, they are collecting income, but they're not working for it. It's basically a grift, and they have nothing to do with their time other than basically play internet hero all day. That is all. That is what they do. Especially like trainees are infamous for this. Especially basically doing nothing with their time all day other than try to discover the identity of people that they don't like. And the people they don't like them because they're not nice. And the way you treat people who are not nice is to try to get them killed. Apparently, that's their logic.
I don't want to go too far down this, but you mentioned the trans guys, and in the context of people collecting illegitimate disability checks. Excuse me. Early on, about 5-6 years ago, it may have been a little more than that, but early on, the trans activists pushed to have the gender dysphoria, which is a DSM-5 listed mental illness. They pushed to have that removed, making the same argument that they made when they removed pedophilia as a mental illness and changed it in the DSM-5 to an orientation, which, good God, the people who did that belong at the end of a rope. But when the trans activists first argued to have gender dysphoria removed as a mental illness from the DSM-5, arguing that it was discriminatory and it seeks to erase us as people, blah, 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 blah. Their lawyers jumped in and said, hold up, shitheads. If you have gender dysphoria removed as a mental illness, you're going to lose your disability checks.
Yep.
You're going to stop getting disability checks. You're going to stop getting government subsidized gender suppression drugs and surgery and all that. All that goes away. If you assert and manage to argue in court that what you have is not a mental illness, the whole grift shuts off.
Yeah. Oh, congratulations. You're right. We see it your way now. You are healthy. You are sane. Okay. And as such, you can take care of yourself.
Yep. I don't have to pay to cut your nuts off.
Right.
Right. So, and just look at this smarmy. I'm done. I'm done listening.
You already know. Everybody knows.
Yeah, and I'm done listening to this.
Goldman.
Let's listen to this response.
Oh, look at this hag.
I'm going to answer the mask question. So, no, not the mask, the mask. So, a lot of agencies were invited to come out 2 weeks ago in Los Angeles where we ran an operation where ICE officers were doxxed. So let's just say that again. People are out there taking photos of the names, their faces, and posting them online with death threats to their family and themselves. So I'm sorry if people are offended by them wearing masks, but I'm not going to let my officers and agents go out there and put their lives on the line and their family on the line because people don't like what immigration enforcement is. They are wearing those masks because we ran an operation with the Secret Service where we arrested someone that was going online, taking their photos, posting their families, their kids' Instagram, their kids' Facebooks, and targeting them. So let me ask, is that the issue here, that we're just upset about the masks? Or is anyone upset with the fact that ICE officers' families were labeled terrorist?
So I don't know about you, but when I was operating downrange, I wore a fake name tag. I didn't wear a wedding ring. Often I didn't wear rank. Now I'm a pretty distinguishable guy. I'm hard to miss.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, 99 times out of 100, I'm the largest man in the room.
Yeah, there's only one Chris in this AO, and
yeah,
you can see him.
But yeah, I wore. I have a handy little collection of fake name tags, and they're obviously fake name tags, like meat wall, big spoon, right? Things like that. And that was anytime I was out in the AO operating among the local nationals, my name was nowhere on me. I didn't have an ID card on me, right? The only thing I had with my name on it was my dog tags tucked down in my shirt. The only way anybody was going to find those was if they were stripping my dead body, right? Because the enemy also conducts intelligence operations, right? There were fatwas on me based on description, based on location, based on my fake name tags, but never against this person directly, because my identity was intentionally shielded at all times.
You actually had E-bombs issue fatwas against you?
Yeah.
I'd be proud of that. That's awesome.
I am. Yeah, I got a pretty decent collection of fatwas, and a couple of changes to the Geneva Convention that I'm very proud of.
For those who don't know, a fatwa is like an Islamic religious edict. Okay, so in other words, he was called out by name as like a heretic and a blasphemer. It's like, and his life is forfeit. Wanted dead or alive. Beat wall. Wanted.
Yeah,
that's great.
I'm relatively confident that nobody's willing to collect on those anymore. They're very old now. Yeah. But yeah, there were. It was me. One of our local nationals, who we called the Rocket Man,
yeah.
And the Rocket Man was one of my favorite foreigners. And then we had this kid that was like this 19-year-old specialist whose job it was to hand out the cash for Obama's Cash for Work program. He had a pretty healthy fatwa on him, because they thought if they could grab him that he just had all the cash, and that's not how it
worked. we want some money, Lebowski.
But yeah, we covered it a few months ago. There was this massive rash of swattings done against just conservative commentators. That is a tool in the toolbox of the enemy, right? Hey, against all enemies, foreign and domestic. I mean, Chaz Chop, right? The autonomous zones, the May 29th insurrection. They threw Molotov cocktails at the White House and set St. John's Church on fire, right? Trump was forced into the underground bunker. Remember, they made fun of him. Look at Bunker Boy. There are thousands of psychotic leftists throwing fire bombs at the White House. Of course, the Secret Service forced him to go into the bunker. In fact, Donald Trump made some mistakes in his first term. That may have been one of the biggest ones, was letting the narrative get away from him on that. The mainstream media running with the Bunker Boy story. Oh, he ran from these peaceful protesters because they were throwing fire bombs. They set the church on fire. No arrests.
When Trump stops leading the narrative, that's when that's when things start. That's when things start declining. Okay, by his personality, it's better if he just makes statements constantly. Okay, and directs the media. Okay, down the path he wants them to. If he just sits quiet, then basically that's when all the scheming and machinations and all that bullshit starts manifesting.
Yeah, Pitt Danny points out too. There were actual injuries. There were casualties.
Yeah, it was a battle. It was an actual battle.
Yeah.
It was an actual insurrection. Okay. So you want to play some more of that video? Just give the audience just a taste of the psychosis.
You mean
it was like a 10-minute video you posted.
No, it's only a minute and a half.
Oh, well, there was a longer one. Never mind. Play the one where it's the black guy basically screaming about how he's going to put a bullet in ICE's heads.
I don't have that one. I don't have that one. But you know what I do have? Oh man, nope. Oh,
It's just from the article. It's from the article you posted.
Oh, I see what. Okay, I see what you're talking about. Gotcha. Is this one it, or is this one it?
Or play the attractive blonde woman trying to work herself into tears for virtue points.
Okay.
In Minneapolis, Minnesota right now, and I just walked upon an ICE raid. There are protests out here, extremely angry. My heart's beating really fast because I cannot even believe I drove upon this. This is what is going on right now.
And let me just reiterate what happened here. They went in to arrest several members of a criminal conspiracy involved in drug trafficking and human trafficking.
Yeah.
And the narrative that the left is trying to spin is that these people are protesting Donald Trump attempting to remove people who were legally present in this country. That is a lie. Right? It's let me go back to Dan Goldman.
They don't care about legal status or not. Okay, it's these are self-hating white people. All right, they have no in-group preference. They are 100% out-group preference. All right, and the further you are, like on basically they're
oikophobes.
Yeah, precisely. Yeah, oikophobe. That's a good term. Or oikophobe or xenophiles. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, the further you are away from their core identity group, the more they identify with you. Okay, these people they're broken. All right, they're absolutely broken in the head. Okay, cannot be recovered. But
law enforcement officers do not cover their face.
He's
and in fact, the Trump administration
he's doing it for political purposes.
Is
he does
cracking
not
down on
that.
universities for allowing protesters to wear masks. So apparently it is not okay to wear a mask. This is not America. This is not who we are.
Not us.
And if you are a violent criminal, if you're a convicted criminal, then you should be deported. I 100% agree with that.
No, you don't.
But these people are doing it the right way. They're not criminals. They're not, quote, murderers. They're not, quote, rapists.
How the fuck do you know that?
That Stephen Miller talks about all the time. They're trying to seek a better life. They're trying to escape horrific conditions at home in order to come to this great democracy and pursue the American dream. This is not who we are. This is not how our government should behave. And we will continue to demand answers from the Department of Homeland Security.
See, he's either stupid or lying, right?
He's lying.
He might be both, but he cannot be neither. He knows damn well that the people that ICE is arresting are illegal immigrants. Now we've had a couple of stories. I love these. There were two stories a couple of weeks ago. They were just apoplectic, clutching their plurals. Oh, Donald Trump just deported an American citizen who was 2 years old, and it's a lie. What a monster! He's just illegally deporting American citizens. It's a lie. What actually happened? There were illegal aliens who came to America and had a baby. Now, the law is very clear. That baby is not an American citizen. But our coward court will not argue it, will not even entertain that fact. But here's the trick. Here's the fun bit. So the spin we get is they deported an American citizen who was 2 years old. Well, that's a lie. What they did is they deported the hostile foreign invader that was that child's mother, and the mother insisted that the child go with her.
Obviously.
And in her defense, I'm not leaving my babies behind in a foreign country.
Yeah.
Under any circumstances, if I can avoid it at all. But then, almost in the same breath, the media reports that a child, a 2 or 3 year old child who was an American citizen, was ripped away from their family and put into the system because their parents were deported, and the American citizen child stayed here.
Yep.
It's literally a damned if you do and damned if you don't.
The only time I've ever seen that was Elian Gonzalez under the Clinton administration, where, yes, armed agents with machine guns literally ripped a baby away and sent it back to communism. That's the only time I've ever seen that kind of hysterical picture being painted as real.
Yeah. So
I just dated myself. Everyone's like, Elian Gonzalez. If you know, you know. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's
been a while.
It's been a minute.
Okay. Now, before we wrap it up this morning, I want to cover this one, and I want to cover this one while I've got you on air with me, Mario. This is completely unrelated to our topic, but I'm hoping I can cut some clips out of this from you reacting to this with me.
I'm being graded? Okay. I'll try.
Completely unrelated to the immigration issue. Are you ready?
I already don't like it. There's a woman.
Good.
Okay.
It gets worse.
No, I can't go for a run because I had an abortion yesterday. I can't go for a run, and I can't take a bath or use a tampon or have intercourse for like a week.
Are you, what?
Yeah, just a couple of things I can't do because I had an abortion yesterday.
Was it mine?
Yeah, of course it was yours.
Fucking cancer.
I didn't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
Is it that show Girls? Like
I don't know.
Made by Lena
I don't actually
Dunham?
know where the clip came from. I think it was Charlie Kirk that shared it. It's a 2.5 minute clip. That first 30 seconds right there. Jesus Christ.
Is that what they mean by the banality of evil? Is that what
Yes. Just casually. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What? No, I can't go for a run today because I had an abortion yesterday. I'm sorry. What? Now you'll see as we go through the rest of this clip. Homeboy hangs around and he's arguing with her. Gentlemen, and I know most of my audience is a little older, but y'all tell your young men, right? Like I think every young man needs to see this video, needs to see this clip, and they need to be told that's it.
Yeah, how to identify red flags. And by red flags I mean like a red like Klieg light blaring like a separate image of a red flag into the sky. This is
not a woman who's going to make your life difficult because she's a little bit persnickety about how clean the house is, and she's going to nag you over and over to take out the trash, or whatever. No, this is a sociopath.
No, you get up and walk.
Now, I understand this is dramatization, right? But if you have a woman that talks about abortion in this way, that's a sociopath. She's dangerous.
Yeah. Yeah, you should be frightened of what this is the type of woman that would be in the streets. Basically, she's the Hollywood version. Okay, so she's prettier than what this type of woman actually is. But yeah, she's the one out there in the streets of Minneapolis screaming "F you, F you, F you" repeatedly, and basically cursing her own existence as a white person. So, no, if I was that guy, I would have to get up and leave immediately to avoid putting hands on her and getting myself thrown in jail. So yeah,
correct.
I can't deal with that shit.
Beforehand, I just wanted to do it. But I haven't shared with boyfriends in the past. I'm trying to be more open with you.
Oh God, so this is routine. It's
How many
routine
abortions
business.
have you had?
I'm not going to share that with you because that is private. I'm not going to ask you how many girls you've gotten pregnant.
None. It's not private. I've got no girls pregnant except for you now.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So, like I said, sociopath. This is routine for her.
Right. And she's a victim as well.
Yeah. So I just wanted to get. There's another minute and a half of this, and it's mostly just them yelling at each other. Well, really, it's him. It's him going through a breakdown, basically, because what do you mean I was a daddy you never told me, and then you murdered my child? And she's just blasé, casual about it, routine, right? Recreational infanticide.
Yeah.
So, yeah, gentlemen, tell your young men to just say no to recreational infanticide.
Yeah.
So, all right.
I agree.
Well, on that note, I wanted to get a reaction out of you that I can cut a profitable short off of, Mario. So I got that. Thank you. And unless you've got anything else, I'm going to go ahead and put a pen in it right there.
No, just play. You can play some psychotic leftist. Play that. Roll that beautiful bean footage if you want.
Oh, you want another?
Play the black man who says he's going to put bullets in the heads of ice. Like where he starts out like super passive aggressive, where it's like, man, they ain't right what y'all doing, like basically accusing the ICE of it's. You see, for these people, like not being nice.
Is that one in the article?
Warrants your death. Yes. Scroll down to throw down. I'll put a bullet in y'all effing head. Man apologizes to illegal alien being detained by ICE and threatens to kill law enforcement officers. Scroll down more.
Okay. Oh. Okay, which one are we looking for? Is this?
Keep going. Down. There.
Like, come on, man. That's a damn shame what y'all doing. Yeah, it's cool. It's cool, but it's a damn shame. Yo, my man, I'm sorry. I'm sorry Trump's an asshole. I'm sorry they voted for this fucking asshole. You know what? When people start fighting back, then what y'all gonna do? Y'all gonna shoot every American? When we start fighting back, what y'all gonna do? Y'all gonna shoot Americans then? Because that's what we gonna start doing. We're gonna start fighting back. That's what we gonna start doing, fighting back. Goddamn shame, all y'all should put a bullet in y'all heads. Doing Trump's work, every single one of y'all put a bullet in your head. Yeah, I said it. What?
Guaranteed if he was wearing a MAGA hat, he'd have been arrested right there in that.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah, he's a black leftist in Minneapolis. He's the apex of the political food chain there. Okay, he is virtually untouchable on the streets of Minneapolis. So,
yeah. So, white guy, you got a diabetic white boy, obese, trapped in a wheelchair, elderly. Maybe hit the fuck it button a little too hard. Says, "I wish I could kill Joe Biden," and FBI shows up, SWAT officers, 3:00 in the morning, and just murders him on his sofa.
It really amazes me that people like this, these communists, okay, it amazes me that they never ever learn the pattern, that they are the useful idiots, like Lenin said. Okay, right. They'll be used to create the conditions of the revolution, and then after the revolution's objectives are achieved, they are always the first ones that get executed because they're a liability. because they're mentally ill and fucking retarded. So they're the first ones against the wall. But hey, whose streets? Our streets.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't get it. I don't try to. And I don't try to understand it anymore. Okay. I just look at them as contaminated people, and I need to stay the hell away from me.
Yeah,
I want
exactly.
nothing to do. I want no contact with them
Quarantine
whatsoever.
yourself from the sociopath.
Yep. Contaminated. I don't want it. It's almost like I feel dirty if I near them. I don't want it on me. I don't want the stink of their lumpen humanity anywhere near me.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right.
Yep.
Well, brother, I'm about ready to put a pin in it. You got anything else you want to add at the end? Oh,
nope.
Pit Danny says check retard finder on X. I often comment on posts. I say, at retard finder. Got one.
That's a great handle.
Mario, you should get on X and check out.
I know. I promised one of our associates I'd sign up for it today.
All right.
Yep.
You guys be safe out there. We love you, and we will see you tomorrow.